Without context, the premise of Tetris Effect won't stop you in your tracks. It's Tetris at heart, and its familiar playfield is presented against fantasy backdrops with songs and sound effects that react to your actions. What that basic description doesn't tell you, though, is how powerful the combination of conducting tetraminos and music at the same time can be. Give Tetris Effect your complete, undivided attention, and you'll form a sympathetic bond to the notes and puzzle pieces alike, and lose yourself in the flurry of color and energy that permeates every stage. It's a lofty promise, to be sure, but there's no other way to describe the impact Tetris Effect has once it finally clicks. Although there's no multiplayer, there are a handful of modes with basic twists on the standard formula that are worth exploring at your leisure. But the bulk of the Tetris Effect experience takes place in Journey mode. It's an aptly named trip that will take you to recognizable locations like the moon, but more often to abstract settings that are best defined by a list of adjectives. These dreamscapes can be breezy, electric, stressful, haunting, heavenly, or crunchy, to name a few of the standout qualities. The music in each stage may not always be a predictable pairing, but just because you didn't see a particular harmony coming doesn't mean it can't work. Over time, you will notice that the game not only hooks you with music, but that it gets you hooked on songs that may not traditionally fit within your musical preferences. Odds are you don't listen to chanting in foreign languages nor the complicated beats of the tabla on a daily basis, but Tetris Effect makes these uncommon sounds enticing. It's hard to say what these songs would feel like without first experiencing them during gameplay, but when you're enraptured in their rhythms while simultaneously flipping and reconfiguring puzzle pieces in a race against time, they become relentlessly catchy, sticking with you long after you stop playing. Because Tetris Effect is so infectious, it's very difficult to put down once you fall into its rhythm. Tetris has proven itself to be a highly effective game, and one that has an ever-rising skill ceiling that allows it to draw in players who have decades of experience under their belts. Tetris Effect will ramp up, but in keeping with the sense of going on a journey, it will also slump down, though rarely for long. The nonlinear flow is an important part of the experience that charges you with anticipation and rewards you with relief, and is an unexpected benefit to the standard flow of a session of Tetris. The shift in tone and pace is often determined by your progress within a stage. Most require you to clear 36 lines total, with milestones along the way that dictate the present rhythm. You do, however, have a helpful tool at your disposal, the zone mode. When activated, it is designed to pump the brakes and give you a chance to salvage a potentially disastrous situation, or to build up a high score that wouldn't otherwise be possible. Zone is a solid addition to the Tetris formula, but it's the quasi-spiritual bond that forms between you and the game that defines Tetris Effect. And even though you don't need a PSVR headset to experience it, there's no question that Tetris Effect is best played in VR with headphones turned all the way up. With your vision and hearing cut off from the outside world, you fade into the game. You feel things you'd never imagine a game of Tetris could make you feel. Don't be surprised if you catch yourself bursting with joy, or on the verge of tears, all because the confluence of gameplay and sensory stimulation works so well. There is no extra physical movement asked of you, the opposite of almost every other VR game in recent memory. Tetris Effect wants your mind rather than your body, and even though we all dream of one day being completely immersed in a high-end VR game, in truth, Tetris Effect achieves that base goal, belief in your connection to the game, and it's already here. Tetris Effect is a transformative game that will more than likely be overlooked by people who think it's just Tetris. Well, it is, and it isn't. Anyone who knows Tetris can pick up Tetris Effect and begin playing right away. The fundamentals remain the same. It is a time-tested formula that continues to work, after all. But Tetris is just the beginning of Tetris Effect. It provides the foundation for a complex emotional journey that defies expectations. It's a vector for meditation. It's a driving force that pushes you beyond your presumed limits. It is the definition of awesome. And if you have an open heart and an open mind, you owe it to yourself to take the plunge and see why it's anything but just Tetris.